Good morning. My name is Efraim F. Manzon, and I will be your host for today's meeting. So, gentlemen, on today's meeting, we will talk about the official announcement coming from the Department of Education. So, this memo was made on July 20, 2022, and the subject matter about this special announcement is about limited face-to-face classes. So for now, let's call our chairperson in here today on this meeting. Let us call Mr. John Patrick Aparte to tell us about this very big announcement for us all.
Good morning. Today, the Department of Education welcomes our 100 participating students, teachers, and professionals to the launch of a pilot program for restricted face-to-face lessons. From the planning stages in 2020 until this historic day, we are grateful to everyone who has supported this critical chapter in our safe return to school crusade. The Department of Health, the International Agency for Testing and Evaluation, child health experts, local government units, international and local partners, school personnel, teachers, and other stakeholders all contributed in reinforcing our shared responsibility framework in this critical undertaking. Above all, we are delighted to see our students in our classrooms because we understand the importance of face to face learning in their social development. More students in public and private schools will follow suit in the coming weeks as the President approved in an increase in the number of pilot participants. We are optimistic that our Bayanihan spirit will carry on to ensure the safety of interested stakeholders and the success of this pilot run as we take a significant step of reinstating face-to-face lessons amidst the public health scenario. In this vein, we urge the general people to always adhere to the necessary health norms and standards. Our objectives of securely reopening additional schools around the country is not far off, with everyone's cooperation in addressing our country's COVID 19 situation. Sincerely yours, John Patrick F. Aparte, Department of Education.
So thank you very much for that very big announcement, Mr. John Patrick Aparte. That is a very different type of announcement, and we are shocked to know that message. So now, let's talk about our agenda regarding to the memorandum of Mr. John Aparte. So, we concluded a four types of agendas. The number one is the safety measure regards to vendors. So on this platform, we suggest that every vendor inside the vicinity that they should always wear face mask and face shield at all costs because social distancing is assured of 1 to 2 meters for each other to implement COVID-19. And the number two is transportation of the students. Regarding to the transportation, the school gives a free ride for all the students in a bus that has a capacity of 20 persons only. The school provided a 50 bus for the students. The number three is the food safety services. On the food, we give a limited time for the students to get their food for their needs. First is the lower grade will come out for 10 to 15 minutes, and the whole campus has a 10 sets of different batch where they have a time to buy their foods and proceed back to their classrooms. And lastly, isolation rooms. On this part, the school provided a three very spacious room for those who have the virus. So that is our agenda for this memorandum. So before we go on to the voting part, is there any question regarding to the announcement?
So can I have a question, sir?
Okay, Mr. Kyle Jandayan, what is your question?
So, the launching of this limited face-to-face to be conducted in the whole country, or only some parts of the Philippines, where there is a lower rate of COVID-19 positives?
Okay, that is a very good question. So thank you, Mr. Kyle Luke. Yes, it is held around the country because we recognize the importance of face-to-face instruction for every kid in the country. Well, however, for some time being, we are merely launching a trial program to ensure that everything runs well. That's my answer to your question, Mr. Kyle Luke.
Thank you for your answer, sir.
You're very welcome. Is there any more question?
I have another question, sir.
Okay, Mr. Karl, Alia, what is your question?
How are you leaning into your key partners and vendors like transportation, food service, daycare, and others?
Okay, so for vendors, we will assign them to a very specific location that is both hygienic and cost effective to ensure that our students have safe transportation to from school or home. And we will have a canteen with tables that have been separated to adhere to our health and safety requirements. Is there any more question?
One last question, sir.
Okay, Mr. Carl Philip Tomoling, what is your question?
In the event of a confirmed case involving someone in the school, have you considered two-way mandatory reporting with your local health officer or department?
Regards to that matter, Mr. Tomoling, yes, if there is a positive case in our school, we must notify the local health officer or department so that they can take action. But on our part, we will take action by ensuring that the student who were in close contact with the positive students were checked to ensure that they were not affected. And the room where the confirmed positive student was present, especially in the isolation room, will be disinfected. So that's my answer to your question, Mr. Kamal.
Thank you, sir.
So so is so since that is our last question, let's proceed now to the voting part of this meeting. So, can you tell me if you gentlemen are agree or disagree?
We are
I agree,
agreed.
sir.
I agree, sir.
So, since everyone is agree, we have now a 100% that everyone agreed that we will implement a limited face-to-face classes for the students. So that's all for today, and thank you for listening.
Thank you also, sir.
Thank you also, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.